Hi everyone, Todd and Marissa from Wickedly Haunted on New Bedford Guide and Relatively Paranormal. We have just landed at tonight's investigation site. It is actually a double investigation. We are doing two haunted mansions. We just took a quick tour of this haunted mansion. This is the Whitney Murdock house, the first mansion we're going to be investigating. We just took a tour. It's incredible. It seems to go on for miles. Every floor seems to have dozens of rooms. It has 3.5 floors, a basement, out of control. I don't know if we could investigate this whole house in 6 hours, never mind 3, but we're going to give it a try because we got to get over to the other house, which supposedly has a little bit of a more darker vibe, which kind of our thing anyway. So we're going to do our best to check out both and get the evidence that you crave, that all of this exists, because what is it that we love? Corroborating evidence, or as I like to say, proof. Proof. Now that's proof. Okay, so hopefully you'll be hearing me yell out, now that's proof, at least once or twice at each location, and wish us luck, because we're going to need it if we're going to get this off and popping. So, Wickedly Haunted, Relatively Paranormal, time to get to work.
10 years ago, we lived through some of the most intense paranormal activity imaginable. That led us to research haunted locations to capture evidence proving the existence of supernatural beings.
Okay, can you, both classes, you're gonna leave tonight.
And help our families being tormented as we once were.
Kids along too.
And what we discovered is that the South Coast is wickedly haunted.
That was incredible. That's what I'm talking about. That's proof. Hi, welcome to Wickedly Haunted. I am Todd, and the lovely Marissa will be with me in just a few minutes. Tonight, we are starting our series of episodes on a double investigation we did in mid-December. On December 11th, Marissa and I took on our first ever double investigation. Now, what that means is we investigated two notoriously huge, massive mansions in just one night. Okay, 6 hours. Like I just said in that intro, we normally do 6 hours in one location and barely get around to see everything. Never mind two haunted mansions. And let me tell you, both places were extremely active, which is why tonight we have an absolute metric ton of video evidence to show you. So what I'm going to do is get right into the first evidence clip. And hopefully by the time I get back, Marissa will be with me. I just want to remind everybody, this is an interactive show, meaning please post questions, comments, and get involved, because it's way more fun when we can interact with folks and answer your questions about the paranormal, about any evidence clips you saw. This place had rooms upon rooms upon rooms upon rooms. They were everywhere. We set up cameras all over the place. We normally use about 9 different cameras. We go past all sorts of rooms. If you see something in one of these rooms that we missed, an apparition walking by, whatever it is, please put it in the comments so I can go back and check it out and maybe put it in next week's episode, because it's about the same mansion. We just moved to a different floor in the mansion. But tonight it's about the second floor, which was definitely wickedly haunted. And part of the third floor, there was actually even like a 3.5 floor story. I don't even know what to call it. But I set up a laser grid up there with a new shadow detector device that I had, and got some really, really interesting and creepy results up there. So let me get into the first video clip. And when I get back, Marissa will be with me. We're going to give a quick analysis about the clip. And then we're going to get right into questions and comments. And we'll get right into another video, because we got about, I think, 6 videos tonight. So let's get into the first video, and we will see you in just a few moments. I don't know if any of the spirits here, any ghosts, any astral beings, any entities in this building know how to use this device. Oh, you do? Oh, thank you. Thank you. We got activity already, dude. Can you do that again? Can you touch that device again if you'd like us to speak to you? Okay. Oh, thank you. You're trying to get our attention? There we go. Wow, can you touch it now? Alright, well, if you want to get our attention, you can touch that, but it's going to take us a few minutes to set up. Thank you. Can you back away from that for a second? I have one question to ask you. Can you back away? Can you step away from that so I can ask you one question, please? Are there any spirits upstairs on the 3rd floor? If there are, can you go near that again? Is there anyone upstairs? No? Are all the spirits on this floor? Can you touch that again? If you lived here, can you make that device go off? Did you live in this house? Plus. Oh, is that you? You bang on that again? I can sense you over there. No, you're over there. Thank you. I am ready to rock. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Are you over here next to me? Can you make that go off again?
Inner.
Go ahead. 0.6, 0.5. All right, well, either way, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing on over here and, well, I'm touching it. This thing's freezing. Good grief. Good God. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. If that was you, can you make that happen again? Go ahead, touch it. Oh, I got the static detector going off right here. I reset it, we're good. Is that you banging? Crazy, man. It is crazy up in here. I'm gonna kill the lights now. Oh, I walked away. Okay. All right. I'm in the ditch dark right now. Room you want to investigate out of? Yes, you're right in front of me, huh? Did you touch me before? I felt a really cold, like, hand or finger on my leg. Was that you? Can you make one of the devices go off if you touched me earlier on the leg over near that bathroom? Good. You are looking at both views from our 3D mapping camera. I am picking it up and bringing it to the room that we are about to start investigating in. As I do this, you're going to notice all sorts of strange anomalies popping up. The strangest anomaly being this white one towards the ceiling here. It seems to grow and change shape throughout the course of the investigation. Towards the end, it disappears completely in a large flash. Keep an eye on it as the videos continue, as it appears to have faces coming in and out of it, almost as if it's a tear in the veil between the spirit world and our world. Right now you're seeing all sorts of weird anomalies. That picture that the arrow's pointing to right now is a painting of a woman, but you will see all sorts of strange faces in it appear and disappear during the course of this investigation. You're seeing a lot of black orbs fly by now. This picture right here is a screenshot, and right at the bottom of the screen are two faces the 3D mapping camera caught while I was spinning the camera around. The most important aspect of this screenshot, though, is the top of the screen right now. The arrow is pointing out that light above the bed in both 3D and infrared mode. I'm pointing this out to show that that white anomaly up towards the ceiling that I just mentioned is not that lamp above the bed. As you can see in this picture right here, as I'm entering the room, the white anomaly towards the ceiling is not even manifested there yet. I just want to point out once again what I'm talking about, and the arrow is showing you right there. That spot over near the ceiling changes shape, changes size, and it looks to me like there are heads manifesting in and out of it as if it is some sort of window through to the spirit world. Now, in this enlarged view of that spot in the ceiling, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. That white area that's moving around and changing shape has a bunch of heads manifesting within it, which made us think that it may be some sort of window seeing through to the spirit world, and those spirits are looking back at us through that window. In the end, like everything else we present to you, we'll give you our opinion, then you must decide for yourself. Wickedly Haunted is sponsored by JMG Medical Group. Do you have unused, unopened, and unexpired diabetic test strips at home? Could you use some extra cash in your pocket during these tough times? If the answer to both of those questions is yes, then call my friend Ron today at 508-642-6565. He will pay you up to $35 per box of test strips, cash money in your pocket, and best of all, he will come to you to pick them up, usually the same day. There is no faster or easier way to sell your extra diabetic test strips, and I know this personally because I have done business with Ron for years. Even if you don't live locally, that is not a problem, because not only can you send them to Ron, but he even covers the cost of the shipping. Ron actually does this to help get diabetic test strips to people with little or no insurance. He is also now buying Dexcom G6 and Libre sensors. Price per box depends on quantity, brand, condition, and expiration date. And if you mention that you saw this ad on Wickedly Haunted, Ron will give you an extra $5 per box. So call him now, 508-642-6565. All right, we hope you enjoyed that video clip. One thing that Marissa and I have discovered through our years of investigating the paranormal is that spirits like to watch from different hiding spots.
Yes.
Behind doors. Behind chairs. They can somehow even project themselves into reflective surfaces like the piece of glass covering that painting, which was bizarre. The faces that show up in that piece of glass changed the entire investigation. There's going to be a window you're going to see in the back where we're going to put the flashlight and the vortex spirit box, and faces turn up there, even on the flare thermal camera. These things like to hide. So when we pick up that 3D mapping camera sometimes and go to leave the room and we spin around and inadvertently catch these things hiding everywhere. And if you slow down the thing, you can see them hiding. Mm-hmm. This is going to sound funny, but you got to think of it like this. They're right there with you. They may be in some sort of spirit realm, but they're still right there with you. And they get right behind us and they will look through our camera lenses. They will talk to each other and tell each other, hey, they can see you. Is that me? When they're in a stick figure form on the SLS camera, and they don't like it. They get pissed off about it to the point where we're even now stopping, yelling out, hey, I got a special camera to see you. Come show yourself, because they'll just hide. They'll scatter.
Or they'll tell each other, don't go over there. Don't go and, don't touch that thing. You talk about the REM pod or whatever. Don't go next to that. Don't touch that. Or don't take a photo. Don't take that picture.
I mean, they like to communicate for the most part. Occasionally, there's something called we call a bully spirit.
There's always one bully spirit, every location.
For sure. It's akin to they'll tell the other spirits they're a demon when they're probably not. There'll be things that say they're a demon when they're probably not. A true demonic and a true fallen angel can pick up a queen-size bed and huck it across the room. We don't see stuff like that happening.
No.
We do hear a lot of things saying negative, nasty stuff, but But anyway, that weird shape that came down from the ceiling, I checked it out and I found the 3D mapping picture of the lamp, and it's easily seen in the videos. That thing is weird, and you're going to see it at the end when it disappears. It stretches out and then closes in on itself.
Yeah.
And it is bizarre. So I hope you were able to see the weird faces in that 3D image, because they are freaky and just awesome piece of evidence. We are not afraid to show the things that this new state-of-the-art type technology brings us, which is fantastic. So we got a lot of video and a lot of comments. If you want to put the first one up, Marissa, right there at the very top. No, it's already on comments. Go ahead, click it. There you go. Just go right to the top one. It says where are they located, I believe, or where's the location. This is what's called the Winchendon, Massachusetts Historical Society. So they give you 2 different locations to investigate in one night, 6 hours. So we broke it up into 3-hour blocks. The first place, the Murdock-Whitney house, the one that we're showing tonight, is massive. Yeah, honestly, massive. Like,
it's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's one of those places that we like to think of as like almost like a time warp. When you go in, it's like you're stepping back into time. There's so many rooms in this place. I can't even imagine living here. It's so massive. And then the other place was called the Isaac Morse House. They're directly across the street from each other. You could throw a rock or a snowball. We were there in the winter and hit the other one. So
just real quick, Fred also asked, where is this? So that just answers that
question.
Yeah,
Winchendon, Massachusetts. It's up north, towards almost Western Mass, up near Gardner and the S.K. Pierce house. They're real close to each other.
Yes. And Cindy Sylvester says hi. Hi, Cindy.
What's up, Cindy? How we doing? Thank you for watching, as always.
Yes. And let me see. It just says Topside Veto. I don't know if they're trying to maybe tag somebody to it.
Okay, cool. Cool. Looks like, there's somebody else. Yeah, and then somebody said silly. I'm not sure what's silly about it. These things are true. Silly. Listen, Gene, keep an open mind. Whether you believe it or not, just because you don't believe it doesn't make it not real. It does not make it not real. Marissa and I didn't believe in this stuff either. And in 2011, we moved into a haunted home. We had a traumatic experience there over the course of 3 years. It caused an obsession in us to find answers.
Oh, it's not a joke. And you're going to be surprised when the time comes.
Maybe everybody doesn't have their experience, but everybody dies, and
when that time comes, I can promise you one thing:
it's not silly.
It's not silly.
Go to the light. That's all I can tell you. Go to the light when you see it.
Yes.
If you find yourself standing outside your body, go to the light. But anyway, let's keep it positive and have fun, folks. Keep posting those questions and comments. Again, if you see something that I did not see, there is doorways everywhere. Let us know. And we're going to get on to video number 3, it is, Marissa. And we will see you in a short minute. On the split screen view, you can see the area where Marissa is filming with the FLIR thermal camera. It appears as though she has captured at least a couple of different figures, one circled here on this side of the chair, and then another circled on the other side of the chair. Pay very close attention to these areas during this part of the clip and watch how they grow and change shape on the FLIR thermal camera. Now that I've showed you where to look, pay attention to both sides of the chair as different entities seem to come out further from their hiding spot behind the chair. It looks like they're even waving at Marissa in this clip. I'm playing this in slow motion because it's not easy to recognize what's going on in the FLIR thermal camera. The FLIR thermal camera works by detecting differences in temperature levels around the room. The yellow, orange, red is the hotter parts of the room, while the purple or darker colors are the colder spots of the room. Spirits are thought to be colder and show up as such on the FLIR thermal camera. You can clearly see the one on the right hand side appears to be waving at Marissa. And you can also see different things growing, expanding, and moving around behind the chair. Spirits, for whatever reason, like to watch us from behind areas like doorways, chairs, and such. Which is why, now that we're aware of this fact, We try to shoot those areas as much as possible with our cameras and video cameras in hopes of catching them while they're taking a sneak peek at us. Got the flare camera right here. Watch out for a second. I have the V2.
It looks like there's a little boy right here.
3D mapping camera.
It is a little boy right here next to the heater. Yeah? Are you Georgie? You are. Thank you. Hi, Georgie.
Is there more than one spirit in here?
I can see you. Can you wave to me, Georgie? Can you wave? Like this? I want to see your hand move.
What the hell is that?
Hi, hi. Really, really high up in the air. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Georgie.
Fancy? Do we have a lot of fancy equipment?
Thank you for waving. You're still waving. Oh, that's fantastic.
EMS detector's going off.
Georgie, are you in here with somebody else?
Right there. There's nothing near it, as you can see. Can you make that go off again? If that's a little boy, can you make that go off? This is not moving. I can hear the floorboards creaking.
Yeah.
Check out the face that appears to have manifested in the window behind the lamp where the nightstand is. The flare has captured it in light purple. If you notice, the rest of the window is a dark green, very cold color. If you are a woman, a female, can you make the light go off or one of the devices go off, please?
Oh, what was that?
There we go. The light just went off.
Thank you.
A woman gets angry if you're in here or something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Hi.
Did you, I feel that cold on my stomach again. Like an ice cold, finger on my stomach. Did you live here? Can you make the light go off if you lived here? Did you work here? Can you make the light go off if you worked here?
Oh, wow, there's somebody right there, too, in the other room.
I told you that. Inches? As Marissa moved her flare camera past the door to the other room, it appears she has captured several figures peeking into the room that we were investigating in. That's what these arrows are showing. In the next screenshot, you can clearly see a full apparition standing to the left of the doorway, head, arms sticking out to the side, leaning right up against the wall. Then we can see another head peeking out here and an apparent other apparition in the middle of the room. It appears as though a head is forming and changing shape as the video progresses. It almost looks like he was hiding underneath the bed, stuck his head out in order to take a peek and see what was going on out in the room. That was out of control. To be on that static camera, Marissa, the one I saw with my own eyes, because that's the spot that the static camera is facing towards. Oh shit! Whoops. That is crazy. That was crazy. 10. All right. So in a little bit, we'll creep upstairs, see what's going on up there. Grab that camera if nothing's going on. While we watch this replay, let me just mention that what's truly bizarre about this clip is that neither I nor Marissa turned off the infrared light above this camera. We didn't turn it back on, we didn't turn it back off. You could actually hear us in the original clip that just played, working to finish setting up so we could begin our investigation. What's even stranger is that this is the only time that this static camera out of 2 hours of filming picked up any anomaly. So to have it turn off, have orbs fly by, turn back on, then seconds later have the light turn back off again for orbs to fly back by, it was as if these entities could manipulate the light on this camera and in an effort to conceal their movements were able to turn it on and off. This is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen while reviewing footage. All right, so that last piece of evidence was actually captured by the only person that helps us, my cousin Russell. So Russell, if you're watching, thank you again. Great capture. He helps us review some of the evidence and he does some of the historical history for us. But I've never seen that before. And what you need to understand is above every one of our IR cameras, the infrared night vision cameras we use come with really lousy infrared lights on them. If we used just the infrared light on the camera, you wouldn't see anything. So I started building these infrared lights based upon the ones that you can buy for your security system that you would actually hang outside. They're pretty big rectangular ones. They're very bright, obviously. And what you're seeing turn on and off is the infrared light that I have mounted above the camera on a like a U camera mount. So what's really buggy about it is that light, you plug it in, and as soon as it's dark, that's it. So what you're seeing is that light turning on and off. There's not really like a switch to it or anything. We had it plugged in that night because we were indoors, and the only way to really turn it on and off like that would be to unplug it or plug it or whatever. Occasionally we do see it flicker like that when we think that maybe a spirit's trying to drain the energy out of it when we have it hooked up to our battery packs. But that thing was plugged in. So what's really bizarre is that it's on nice and bright, and then it shuts off. A bunch of orbs rocket by, turns back on, shuts off. A bunch of more orbs rocket by, turns back on, and that camera never caught another orb in that area.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that is not dust. Dust does not shoot up out of a staircase, do a U-turn, and shoot back down into a staircase. They don't come out a singular object. Dust floats around like snow. It's shapeless, it's formless, and it follows the air current of wherever you are. It's like on a dry, hot summer day, you ever kick a pile of dirt and the dust goes up in the sun and you can see it, and it floats away with the wind in a group. Okay, one softball-sized piece of dust doesn't rocket off in the opposite direction. Okay, so those things are spirit energy orbs, and somehow it sounds crazy, but somehow they coordinated to shut that light off, thinking they could get by. Remember what I said earlier? They watched the cameras, so they knew that camera was watching that area, and then they rocketed by and were turning it on and off. It's the freakiest thing I've ever seen. And it doesn't happen again the entire night, and no more orbs entered that area.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was pretty awesome.
It was pretty sweet stuff. So, were there any more questions and comments? Because we got a lot of video.
No, so we're gonna go over
all right, listen.
this video.
Oh, hold on. One quick thing. We always do this every episode, and Marissa wasn't out here earlier, so I need her help for this portion. But we offer help to anyone living in the local area. And when I say local area, like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Southern New Hampshire, Vermont, Southern Maine, anywhere reasonable. We offer paranormal investigations for anybody who's experiencing strange phenomenon in their house. And maybe they just want validation because they feel like they're going crazy, because we have been there. We live in a haunted house now. We lived in one years ago. And you honestly feel like you're going nuts when you see these things and experience these things. So even if you just want validation, if you're being tormented by something, okay, and you need help with that, or if you just want to know what's in your home, who it is, do they need help, whatever, we can help you with all of those things, give you legitimate, real help. Not help you and bounce. We can try to cleanse the home. We can try to do a lot of different things to try to help you out. If you need help and you would like Marissa and I to come, it's Marissa and I, we do everything, which is why this investigation was so challenging. Okay. But we do it like that for a reason. One, we find that we're more approachable to the spirits just as two people. Okay. And two, it's a lot easier to review evidence and find out what was paranormal and what was not, rather than investigating with 5 or 6 people and they're all moving around, making noise.
You know, who sneezed, who coughed, did somebody walk over there? Did somebody walk over there? So it's just the two of us. And most of the time we're both on some camera someplace. So
yeah, we keep the place littered with cameras, and we've had people help us before and we're grateful for that help, but it makes it a challenge. It really does. So we can offer you real help. And to get that help, all you need to do is go to our website, relativelyparanormal.com. The first page down after our intro is a booking form. Just put in some basic info and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. You can also go to our email address, relativelyparanormal@gmail.com, and just shoot us a quick message. Again, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we usually come right out, within that week. Okay. We are really this is our real passion. We like going to Winchendon and places like this, but our real passion is helping people dealing with what we dealt with because we could never find help.
Mhm.
Okay. We've even experienced things and asked for help from people that know different things that we don't, and that hasn't really turned out too well. And we're trying to be the complete opposite of that. We really want to help people. So go to either one of those sites, drop us a line. You can even get in touch with us through our public Facebook group, Relatively Paranormal. But that would probably come up as more of a public thing. It may be able to private message us through there. I think they can.
Yes, they can, but you're better off just going either
Correct.
straight to our Gmail or to our website, relativelyparanormal.com.
Okay. And now our website, we have worked on really hard. It's actually pretty awesome. It links to all of our social media. It links to our YouTube channel, which has over 100 videos now, short evidence clips, full investigations, every episode of Wickedly Haunted. The website also has a picture album with now over 200 pictures of paranormal evidence, real freaky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it also links to the public Facebook group and our TikTok channel. They're all Relatively Paranormal. The show's called Wickedly Haunted. We investigate as Relatively Paranormal. It's a play on words because obviously we're like a married couple, relative, we're related. And in the paranormal world, believe me, in one way or another, everything is related in one way or another. So let's roll another video. Please post your questions and comments. Get involved. We want to interact with you. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know. Ask anything about. You can ask us questions about paranormal investigating, about equipment we use, about anything you saw evidence-wise. Let's just keep it positive and have fun with it. Let's go to the video. All right. So what we would like to do is talk to you real quick. This camera I have right here, on the end of it, there is actually a microphone that can hear your voice if you yell really loud into it. Right now I have on headphones, so it's a little bit easier for me to hear. Would you like to come over and yell your name into this?
Region.
Did you leave this room?
I think it's in there.
You hear that?
That's you, wasn't it?
No. Let me readjust myself. Listen. This is me, look. You hear that noise? No. That's in that other room.
Did you say saw? Did you say saw?
Yeah.
And what, you saw him?
Yeah. Can you bang on something so we know where you're at? Are you still here? Can you make the light go on? Are there any spirits on this floor that came in here with the memorabilia from the war, from one of the wars? Look.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you shut that off? If you were in the Revolutionary War, make the light go off. You hear that bang?
Mm-hmm.
A figure appears to have manifested his head on the darkened glass window behind that curtain, and can be seen here peeking out from behind the curtain. In this close-up view, you can get a much better look at exactly what this head looks like. If you're still in here, can you shut that light off?
EMF is spiking up.
In the window, the top light is the infrared light from our SLS camera. The bottom light is the light from our flashlight turning on and off, answering questions.
Up and down, up and down, up and down. It's going up,
Can you shut that light off? Oh, there we go.
Temperature's
Okay.
going down. 66.9. The EMF's 7.2. Down.
Are you the spirit that came from the war with the war memorabilia? Hear that knock again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what war you came in on, but we certainly thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Both of my grandfathers fought in what was called World War II.
Thank you.
Whatever war, if you fought in the Revolutionary War, the war for the colonies, you won.
Thank you.
Whatever war, if you fought in the Revolutionary War, the war for the colonies, you won. Whatever war, if you fought in the Revolutionary War, the war for the colonies, you won. Whatever war, if you fought in the Revolutionary War, the war for the colonies, you won. We are now called the United States of America. We are a free country. If you fought in the Civil War, if you fought in the Union, you won. The colonies, look,
Yes.
the colonies were reunited. Is that you?
Yes, me.
Okay, so you fought in the Union, is that correct? Did you fight for the Union Army?
Oh, they're knocking.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? They knocked twice.
Okay, did you live in Massachusetts? The light went on. Are you from Massachusetts? No? Are you attached to something in that room over there?
Whoa, thank you. That just spiked up to 3.5.
Wow. Is it your uniform that you're attached to? Boom.
Yes. Okay.
Wow.
So it must be that uniform.
Did you hear that?
The knocking?
Somebody's walking around above us.
Oh no, somebody was like knocking on this bureau.
I just heard walking above us too. Okay. Why are you still attached to your uniform? Is it because you died young and have still thought that you had yeah, you died too young?
I'm so sorry.
Well, did you fight for the Union Army because you wanted the slaves freed? Who was that?
Sit down.
No. Yes? You wanted the slaves freed. Is that correct? Shut off the light if that is correct. Okay, so that house had the phenomenon going that we don't come across too often, which was the knocking and the banging. Now, Marissa and I have lived in plenty of these old houses, rented apartments in them, rented these houses. We understand what a house settling sounds like, what those cast iron space heaters sound like, what all that stuff sounds like. We were the only people in the house, except for the lady who let us in, who was on the far side of the house, on the first floor in some back office. I never heard her once. And these noises were either coming from above us. It sounded like straight walking right above us, where I set up that laser grid experiment that you're going to see in a few moments, and right near us in the room. And you need to understand this as well. And we've spoke about this before on the show. What we hear in real life doesn't translate quite as crazy onto the video or the audio. Okay, Marissa and I were in a graveyard one night. We were the only people in this graveyard, and about 10 feet away, we heard a woman screaming as if she was being knifed to death in the bushes. The most loudest blood-curdling scream, to the point where we investigated the pitch black. Flashlights came out immediately. We were searching. We thought somebody was getting killed or, heaven forbid, assaulted or something. And there was nobody in this graveyard, and we looked everywhere. And then when we played it back on the video, it just did not do it justice. It doesn't. So when you hear these noises, I try to raise up the volume at least to do it some justice, because it is so loud at the time that it's crazy. It's almost like
I remember. I was like, "Was that you? Are you walking? Like, what are you doing over there?" Because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't see because we're in the pitch dark.
We don't come across that often. And the other thing we need to remember is that a lot of these spirits passed long before technology ever existed, long before even the Industrial Revolution. Some of these places were built in the 1800s, early 1800s. Industrial Revolution wasn't until the late 1800s. Okay, like after the Civil War type of stuff. So to them, one, the technology makes them nervous sometimes. They think it's black magic. They've called us witches before or whatever. And the other thing is that the only way they've been communicating for 200 years as a spirit was by banging and moving things and trying to get people's attention that way. People didn't have other ways to communicate with them.
I couldn't believe that he didn't believe us, that the war was over and that we won. He kept saying no.
Oh, well, no, he said, I did not. I think this is what you have to remember too, is I'm playing these EVPs, these responses from the spirits. And if I said, were you in the Union Army, and the flashlight's turning on, yes. And then there's a person on an EVP, which is an electronic voice phenomenon. It is a spirit voice we do not hear at the time, imprinted on our digital media, okay, our audio. And somebody saying, I did not fight for the Union, okay, that's probably two different people, two different spirits, okay? We have pictures to show next week where there's literally 10 spirits standing behind me, okay? There was a lot of spirits at this place. It's at least a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, well,
shame on me for not knowing the history off
and
the top of my head.
they had like a room filled with all like.
The reason why, tell them why we were asking about the war.
Oh, we were asking because they had a room that had all like memorabilia, like Army, Navy, whatever. It was just a whole bunch of.
There was a Revolutionary War uniform, Civil War,
weapons, and just everything.
Helmets,
anything and everything you can even imagine.
Guns,
and I don't even know. Like,
it's a museum, but
people
it's
just like donated it or whatever. But the thing is that each and every single one of those items, I believe, had an attachment of some sort.
Well, you would think everyone, but some could, yes.
Most of them, based on the pictures that I saw.
I've never been in war but Marissa knows I'm a big history buff. I can't even imagine. Like, my heart goes out to everybody who's served and fought. They're heroes. I've read books upon books upon books upon World War II. My grandfather's from World War II, and I had no idea what they endured. And if somebody dies in one of those type of situations, I could see an attachment forming to an object or something like that.
So it could be that some of the people that are there now, that are stuck there now, didn't even live there. They're just there because some of
it's an evolving theory.
Some of their items got donated.
But there could have been somebody who made it home there as well, who served. You never know,
right?
But just keep in mind that if you see one of our devices indicating an answer of yes and an EVP saying no,
it could be a couple different spirits.
It is. Yeah. It is. When the word bank goes off and it says 10 different names, it's because there's 10 different spirits there, probably.
All right, so let's go to some comments.
Yes, we did see some questions and comments in there. Go down to where I saw one from Terry. And then there was one right above it, I believe.
Oh, okay. So Don Silva says, watching from Fall River, Massachusetts, home of Lizzie Borden. Hey, Don.
Hey, Don. Thanks so much for watching. Had a great investigation at Lizzie Borden.
Yeah.
It's on our YouTube channel, Relatively Paranormal, and it's a fantastic video. You should watch it. We actually solved the murder. We did. We solved the murder.
And Terry says, wow. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, we were pretty wowed, too. It was an awesome
Terry is somebody that we know from the paranormal world. He's an investigator, so thank you for the compliment. We appreciate the kind comments.
And here's Manny. They keep on knocking. Yeah, it's crazy, Manny, right?
And some of them didn't even come off on the audio because there was knocking left and right. It was crazy. It's almost like we don't expect it. We're so used to using the technology and the spirit box to speak. And when you hear knocking, you're like, oh, what? What? Was that you? Was that you? That's why we kept asking, was that you?
Yeah.
That was a big comment. Move the thing away from it.
All right. And Sharon Marie says, great work, you two. Started watching last week. Some really convincing stuff. And, I'm sorry. I have to scroll down here a bit. And can totally tell you enjoy this. Love how you modified the equipment. Have you ever left a place really shaken up from events that happened? Or does it hit you after you rewatch?
Sometimes we don't know the scale of it until we review the evidence because we're only witnessing a small amount. When we're running 9 different cameras and one's a thermal, 2 3D mapping, infrared, full spectrum, different cameras will catch different things. And until you start watching it, let me tell you something. It's pretty shocking to see that weird thing up near the ceiling that to us looks like a rip between the spirit world and ours and heads peeking through.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the video, it's in, I don't know if I put it in slow motion. I think in one part I do, where I blow it up, you're going to see what we're talking about. You absolutely are.
Yeah.
And they're human looking heads. One guy had a top hat. One guy had on another thing. The other weird head in the bottom of the screen had a helmet on with a strap.
Yeah, so actually several of them had. You'll see in the photos next week or the week after, whatever. But a lot of them were wearing.
As far as being shooken up, though, we've spent in the last decade, unfortunately, like 5 or 6 years living in haunted homes, and you almost become numb to some of the activity.
I will mention, however, though, it's kind of like having a hangover the next day.
Yeah, drains the life out. Yeah, because even though I give them energy in the form of these power plant energy box that we invented, it feeds the spirit's energy. They'll still drain you.
They'll still drain.
They'll still drain because that's what they used to.
Right, and we have spirits that live here in our home, so they're always constantly like
they drain you. Yes,
they're sucking out of me like 24 hours a day. But Yeah, no, I'm always surprised to see the evidence after the investigation, after we see, the footage.
It's shocking.
Yeah,
it is shocking.
Sometimes I think that these spirits love me when I'm there. I'm like, oh, you guys are so great. And then, we listen to it and they're like, go home, so. Oh, well. But thank you so much for watching either way. So let me see.
Did we put on the vortex yet, or is that the next video? There's two more videos?
No. Terry, I don't know what you said, Terry.
Sharon, you'll see the spirit box that we have come up in the next video, and they gave us some pretty crazy responses. So.
And Terry says A+ for history. That's all you. Thanks, Terry.
It's funny because when we go there, we try not to read a lot about the history because we don't want to be like jaded. You hear a lot of mediums say this. They don't want to know anything because then it's going to steer their reading in one way or another. We don't want to be stuck on two figures when there could be 100 spirits there, and then we're calling out two names all night and pissing off the other 998 by ignoring them.
Yeah.
You're better off letting them tell you who they are and using your equipment to find that out. Okay, because the people that are in the history may not even be there. It could be somebody attached to the land that was there before that house ever existed. So it always kills me when I watch ghost shows and they do all this history and they go there and then they'll say, oh, there was 1,000 deaths at this insane asylum. And then they do history and then they go out and call one or two names all night and ignore the other 900 people that died there. If I was a spirit, I wouldn't go talk to those people or interact with them. I'd be pissed. And if everybody went there, kept calling out the same name, like at Rolling Hills, there's a famous spirit there named Roy. He's like he had gigantism. He's like 8 feet tall. People see his shadow figure all the time. If everybody that goes there says, Roy here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the other spirits there, I'd be like, why are they always asking for that dude?
Right.
He wasn't that popular in life. I mean, why is he so popular in death? Because he was tall? I mean, like, what the hell? It's because that's what the owners of some of these locations put out there. So. Right. You're just better off going there, investigating, talking to who's going to come interact with you. Roy may not even like talking to people that are alive. Who knows?
And Don says, I will definitely look for it. Great. Terry says, only witness what you see.
It's true.
And majority of stuff happens behind you, of course.
We just try to keep an open mind and let the evidence take us where it takes us. And then when we do the show, we give you our impressions based upon what we found through our experience and through the evidence. And whatever it is, it is. Right. If it's freaky, if it's weird looking, if it's mind blowing, we're going to show it. It's up to you to decide what you think. But I'm telling you right now, Marissa will tell you, if I'm showing it, I wholeheartedly 100% think it's paranormal. I was talking to Terry about this last night. Okay, I will go through it back, forth, sideways, forwards until, I am 100% positive it's paranormal.
All right. And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce your name correctly. So I'll just say Miss Garcia. Sorry.
It says Yuritsa.
Oh, Yuritsa? Okay. I already know if the Z was silent or something. Anyhow, be used. Don't let bad comments bother you. Also, if you're granted this special gift, say what you see, hear, and I'm sorry, I can't.
Move it away from it, yeah.
Yeah.
And know and enjoy life. Yes.
Hear it, and enjoy life to the fullest. And about calling you witches, I will. Don't let that bother you. I live seeing or watching stuff like this. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We the witches stuff, we actually just take it as evidence because we know why they're saying it. We don't take offense to it. They're saying it because they think the technology is black magic. If you died in 1810 and had never seen a television, a cell phone, anything like this, I mean, you would think it was crazy looking. Heck, if you died in 1930 and you were a spirit and you came across people with all this crazy stuff, tablets,
and oh my God, yeah.
And they can see me on this camera and everything, and the thermal camera, you'd be bugging out too. Like it's crazy. So we understand why.
And last one here. Hi, Marissa and Todd. Great show. Thank you, Mom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We love you.
Love you.
All right, rock another video. It's on the brand. Yeah, there you go.
We're on what?
Which one is that?
5.
Yeah. You don't remember Abraham Lincoln? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
After the war, unfortunately, he was assassinated in Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. by a Confederate sympathizer named John Wilkes Booth. So, does that make you sad? No. Yes.
Yeah.
That is sad, yes.
Is this the first time you're hearing of this?
You know that some even believe that his spirit haunts the White House? Does that shock you? Yes. So you're not alone, sir. You are not alone.
Are you aware that the year is 2021 right now? We're about to go into 2022 next month.
The life. Wow. Did I just say 2 words? The life? Mm-hmm. Wow, that is incredible. So the Palace Word Bank just said the life. Was that you saying basically like the life that you lost fighting in the war? You didn't aim the light down yet, didn't it?
Did you know that it was the year 2021? Could you turn the light on? Well, yeah.
How would you know that? Did somebody tell you that?
Yeah, because people come in here all the time. I'm sure somebody must have. Did you hear it from somebody else that came through your home?
Should we go visit the room where your uniform is? Would you direct us to your uniform if we went in there? Turn on the light if you could direct us to your uniform. Excellent. All right, we'll take a walk in there. So what we're going to do is walk over to the war room.
You're going to maybe just give us a little knock when we get close to your uniform.
All right, come on. As we walked by our 3D mapping camera on our way out the room, an odd effect occurs with the camera, revealing a bunch of strange anomalies around the room, which the arrows are obviously pointing out. I am not sure what these things are or what this effect is, but it's certainly bizarre, which is why I showed it. The strange white anomaly that has been towards the ceiling in the room the entire time finally disappears. This chair, get out. Who's here? Is Georgie here?
It's my house, he said.
Georgie, this is your house?
Free.
Stop for a second. Whose shadow did I see over on the bed? Hear that? Whose? We will get. Whoa! What was that? What is that? Look at that! It's moving. Look at it. Looks like you see it?
I see.
What is that? Look at that! Look at that! It's moving. Look at it. The heat spot. Do you see it?
I see.
It's moving.
Yeah, I also see a gentleman right behind you.
Oh my God, dude! Let's watch this slow motion replay of that small heat spot that seemed to manifest and to grow into the full face of some sort of entity that was in that room with us. Normally, entities are displayed as purple or cold, but negative entities often show up as hot spots on the flared thermal camera. Peeking in on us, you know what I'm saying? You have to take this going up. Let me ask you this. Are there any spirits up on the 3rd floor? Well, we know there are. Who's on Who's on the 3rd floor? the doorway. The arrows in this screenshot are pointing out all of the strange anomalies that were picked up by the incredible 3D mapping camera that we use on every investigation. So that screenshot at the end is just one freakish like millisecond of that 3D camera as I picked it up to leave to head to the 3rd floor, and it caught all those apparitions hiding behind the door frame. Pretty incredible stuff. I was going frame by frame because I saw a couple other weird things. I know as soon as I pick up that thing and spin it around, weird things are going to appear. And you got to see that weird anomaly that I've been talking about all night disappear from the ceiling. Mm-hmm. It shot down and then right back in on itself. So there is no explanation for that except for weirdness, paranormal. Okay, paranormal, the opposite of normal, whatever you want to call it. That was awesome. Yeah. That was awesome. The other thing that was a great example of was that 3D footage because, and I'm not talking about the one with the heat spot, but the one with the bathroom, because the normal color of that bathroom was the yellow and orange. It was like a normal, like high 70s, low 80s in that house. The heat was pretty warm in there. And I went by it. It was normal. And then something caught my eye. When I went back, it was ice brick cold purple, which means cold. And you could see the form of a person there. But not only that, we had the corroborating evidence of the motion detector in that room, which was one that lights up. It's actually one of the ones like you stick in your bathroom for your toilet. It sees you come in the bathroom, turns on the colored light. It went off for the first time and only time the entire night and lit up that bathroom, which was incredible. That's what we strive for. We don't want to just see an outline of a figure. We want the motion detectors going off. We want these scientific instruments going off and corroborating what we're seeing. So you had the change in temperature and color there. Mm-hmm. You had the motion detector, and I just knew something was there anyway because you have you get that feeling when something was like staring at you like from behind you. That's why I spun around because I felt like somebody was like glaring at my back. And things were doing weird stuff there all night. So a couple great examples there of how the 3D mapping works and how the flare works. And the other thing is that weird heat spot. I noticed in review, it looked like the heat spot looked like a small, just round shape, but then it looked like somebody blew up like a balloon and it turned into like an entity's head. It was really strange looking. Really, that's what it looked like to me. Like when you blow up a balloon, it looked like it blew up and then it just like shrinks and goes away. It's pretty cool. So our last video, I'm going to set it up. If there's any more questions and comments, we'll check those real quick. Our last video, we go up to the 3rd floor. Part of the video, excuse me, is when we were setting up. I set up this new 3D mapping grid that we have way upstairs, and it hooks into a shadow detector. So the center beam on the laser grid goes inside this little device. And if anything breaks the beam, shadow, a solid object, it will beep and go off. And it does have a little red light that you can see if you're up close. But in the video, you're going to see the red light, the light blocking out on the infrared. You're going to hear the beeping. And that goes on, several times. And then you'll see at the very end, right as we're walking up to the 3rd floor, something really incredible happens. Really incredible. It's worth watching the end of the show for. So post your questions and comments. Are there any more questions and comments, Miss Marissa? What do we have? There's a couple more. I see the one from Terry. Would I recommend a camera and audio equipment? I could recommend a lot of stuff. If you want to just start ghost hunting, Marissa and I started off with a Maglite flashlight, which you see in all of our videos. It's how we make contact to this day and ask simple yes, no questions to establish that someone is there. And if they're male, female, that sort of thing, do they live there? What if they're attached to the land, the house? It'll cost you $15. We used our cell phone camera, and you can get cheap infrared cameras on Amazon for $60. But I do recommend getting a light like I use. I do sell them on the Relatively Paranormal equipment on eBay, Etsy, and Facebook Marketplace. And it's called the Ghost Hunting Night Vision Light Set. It's well worth it. And I give you a plug if you're using it indoors and a battery pack to use it outdoors. And it just hooks up to the top of any camera in the cold shoe mount. I give you the little mount adapter. You get it ready to go, and it'll make the $60 camera look like a $200 camera, believe me.
But if you don't have the money, just make sure that the camera has night vision.
You gotta have an infrared light of some sort, though. I don't care what it is. You gotta have at least one. You gotta have. You can't. Or you're not gonna see it. It'll come out horrible. You won't be happy with it. But anyway, you can get inexpensive things like that on Amazon. The one thing, though, and I will say this seriously, okay, whether you have a lot of money or not, spirits have no bodies. They all require energy like we do as live human beings. If you do not give them energy, you will get what you will get. They may drain your camera, give you 30 seconds of activity, and then when they run out of the energy, they're going to leave. Okay.
And you won't even be able to get it on camera because they already drained your battery. So it's
okay. I know it's crazy. Watch our show and it's nonstop evidence, and I try to show you just as much evidence as possible. We get a lot of evidence because we feed the spirits energy. Okay, it's documented. Watch any ghost show. They get their camera drained, they get their body drained. Activity happens, and then they would say, "What? Oh, that activity stopped as fast as it started." How they haven't figured this out yet, I don't know. But we did an absolute metric ton of research on this. Also, because we were getting drained in our house of energy, but you have to give them energy. It's the most important piece of ghost equipment you could have. Is my power plant energy device. I put crystal energy amplifiers in it, quartz. Every paranormal active location in the world, Bermuda Triangle, Alaska Triangle, Hudson Valley, the basin there in Utah where Skinwalker Ranch is, they all have one thing in Loch Ness. They have one thing in a few things in common. High Earth magnetic energy fields, massive amounts of quartz, okay? And that Earth magnetic energy fields are running through the quartz, and you're getting UFOs there. You're getting, and the government admitted there's UFOs now, so we know that's real, okay? And you're getting reports of spirits and hauntings all over the place in those areas. Bermuda Triangle, ghost ships, there's planes disappearing, people going through vortexes and portals in Bermuda and coming out in Miami 5 minutes later. You get report after report after report, and they all have this. So I did a lot of research on this. And built this power plant. It's basically like, it sounds crazy, but it's a little mini Bermuda Triangle, and it feeds these spirits energy, and it also electrifies the area within like a foot around the box. Okay. And that's probably what caused the weird white thing in the ceiling. Okay. And it thins that veil between the spirit world and ours and allows these entities to interact with you. Okay. Without it, you could spend $2,000, $3,000. Look at all the money they have on TV, and they end up with 2-3 pieces of evidence, and that's it. A scratchy EVP, a spirit box response that maybe you can hear, maybe you can't, and
plenty of time to show the tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 minutes of drive in there, 10-minute tour, 5 minutes of history, 5 minutes of setup, 15 minutes of investigating, and then they do the reveal, and it's like 2-3 things, and that's it. It's crazy, but honestly, buy my power plant and you will not experience that. You will experience the opposite. Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Somebody said it's insane. All those images are insane.
That's
Marietta
says those images are insane. They sure are.
Yeah, they're crazy.
The 3D images are nuts.
You can imagine our shock when I see them, or Marissa sees them and we're screaming at each other. And then what did Terry say about that?
Well, I skipped one accidentally here. Man, you'll always you'll always have the crazy animal faces and entities. Do you think they are around us at all times? Yeah, we always.
Yeah, well, I think that there's an alternate. Well, not alternate. There's a spirit world that runs parallel to ours. That's there, and the power plant kind of kicks in the door to that, and whatever is at that location is allowed to kind of come through or look through, or certain, depending on how powerful they are, certain ones seem to come through all the way, some don't. But we certainly get the strong communication.
It says, I wish I could post the pictures of the animal with the horns we found on the other day from you and Marissa's investigation. Which investigation was that?
I don't know. I'll look.
Did he send them to you?
No, I think it's one I sent him.
Oh.
Okay, you can post them on your social media. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, of course.
Go nuts. Just give us the photo by Relatively Paranormal. I'm just kidding. All right, run the last video. 3rd floor, laser grid. This is some weird stuff.
Oh, 6.
Yes.
While Marissa and I investigated on the second floor, I set up an experiment on the third floor with our new laser grid and shadow detecting device. Basically, the center dot of the laser grid points into the shadow detecting device, and if anything breaks that beam, the device will sound off with a beep to let us know that it's gone off. The following video takes place after I heard this device going off, right after I set it up, and during our investigation of the second floor.
Hi. Hi, can you walk in front of that again? Can you make that go off again? Here.
It needs space. It needs space.
Can you do that again? See? See? I can see the light. Can you do that again? Oh my God, I can see him walking in front of it. That is crazy. There we go.
Notice as I pan up through this area, on the wall, you're going to see what looks to be the formation of a white head. This is important because in a few seconds, you're about to see something that's going to blow your mind.
Oh, this seat's awesome up here. Alright, well thank you. We'll come upstairs and talk to you in a little bit. Do you want us to come back up and talk to you? I have a box that can see you. That you can talk to. We can hear your voice. Do you want us to come back up?
In this slow motion replay, notice in that same area where the other face appeared, you can see two sets of faces on the wall. These are not pictures. The pictures are the black rectangles you can see around these faces. As you can see, the faces morph as the video continues. At one point, they even begin to disappear. It appears as though there's several faces changing spots here in this ultra creepy video replay of what just occurred. The following screenshots are of that situation that I showed with the faces on the walls. I can assure you that at the time, Marissa and I did not see these faces manifesting on the walls. Also, there is nothing there in the form of pictures that resemble these faces in any way, shape, or form. Not to mention that still pictures do not morph, glow in a darkened room, change shape, or disappear like these did.
Right there. What did I say? Breathing? I don't know where the fuck. Oh, here we go. Hello, we're back. Do you remember us? If you'd like to come over, we brought some other devices to communicate with you. Okay?
Oh, so Braden. That's somebody's name.
Whoa!
That was me, I think.
No? Hi!
In the replay of what you just saw, you can see an apparition come out from behind the dollhouse and shoot at the screen. At this time, Marissa and I had just walked back upstairs, the REM pod had immediately gone nuts, and the screen on this camera started looking all strange and distorted. In these screenshots, you can see the entity with much greater detail. It starts off behind the dollhouse, shoots out, and flies right at the doorway. Unfortunately, due to very bad timing, I walk in the way, killing the shot and evidence of this apparition. God knows what we would have caught had that happened. But if you notice as the pictures progress, the entity seems to fill out, and by the end is almost fully formed and manifested in the middle of the screen. You can see a head, you can see the shape of a body starting to come into place, and it ended up being a really amazing piece of evidence, even if I did cut it short by foolishly walking in front of the camera.
Yeah. So that apparition at the end, I went frame by frame. It comes out from behind the dollhouse, 100%. That is not a lens flare. I have spent years and hundreds of, Marissa will tell you, thousands of hours reviewing video. That is an apparition. And unfortunately, I walked in front of it because I didn't know it was appearing. I try not to walk in front of cameras, but at some point you have to. And absolutely incredible.
And
at the end,
know that also that we're on the 4th floor, by the way, so that there's no car
other light
driving
source,
by.
yeah.
There's no light from next door, whatever. We're on the 4th floor, so there's just no way that anything could have shot up there. And
the faces on the wall, in the video from my cell phone camera, the red one, the guy on the right's got a handlebar mustache. He is clear as day. If you go back, take a screenshot of it, look at the picture, and the girl on the right has stringy hair hanging over her face. And then the guy morphs into a younger guy. Now, I don't know if that's a spirit showing himself as middle-aged and then as younger, but the best picture is the guy, the first shot when he first comes up. And then you can see it swoop away, and then it reforms. Okay, there's no pictures on that wall that look like that. I showed you the pictures. They were the little Polaroids, the black squares. And again, there was just like shiny plastic sheet there. Just used it to show itself. Reflective surface happens every time. But really, I watched that video over and over and over again. It just blew my mind to see the faces changing, morphing, sweeping away. And believe me, I have the capability to slow things down super slow and blow them up. And I'll look at them 8 ways from Sunday, to check them out. And that's a crazy, crazy, crazy video. And the fact that thing was setting up the shadow detector.
oh yeah, of course.
So that shadow detector actually keeps count of how many times it goes off. Now, me walking around in the beginning when I first turned it on, I probably set it off 10 times. At the end of the night, when I checked the counter on it, it had gone off 84 times.
Yeah,
84
I'm
times.
surprised you remember the exact number, but I knew it was up there. It was like almost
Because
100.
I started watching the video for the next episode.
Oh.
Because we go up there and crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
And on that next episode of this show, we stay up there and it's insane things happen up there. But let me tell you something, 84 incidences of that thing beeping. I'm just not going to sit here and have you listening to it beep 84 times. Beep, 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 beep. But you get the point. We were downstairs. You can hear us talking in the background. We're not up there. And even when we were up there, you have to break the solid beam. You have to physically block it. So the theory is some of these shadow figures have mass to them, and they do, or they wouldn't appear on the 3D mapping camera. You've got to have mass to appear on that camera. Some of these things have mass, and they can block it. And whatever was up there, at one point, that shadow detector had sat quiet for a while, and then it starts beeping because I thought we were actually coming upstairs, but we were just walking down the hallway, and I think the entity thought we were, and it was trying to get our attention to make us come back up there.
Yeah.
So it heard our voices come close to the staircase where it was, and it started beeping.
Yeah. So I mean, just so you know, I'm call it a laser grid, but it's just, if you just picture it, it's just like a laser. Like something needs to cross in front of it in order for it the light to be off, or to block the light. So
your mom said that was wild, just so you know.
Oh my God, yeah, it was. Yeah. So anyhow, the laser grid, laser just shoots out like a grid across the entire wall. So that's why we call it a laser grid. But something has to again go in front of it.
It is because of this piece of evidence that we actually sold that laser grid and shadow detector and bought the ultra upgraded version, which does the same thing except on a much grander scale, and actually has a screen that you can see. Like if an entity walks in front of it, you can see their temperature, you can see their legs, their arms, their head, depending on how close they are.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. It keeps track of the count, and it just does it all automatically. That thing was a little difficult to set up. Believe me, when you're 50 feet apart and, Marissa's trying to move the laser to get the little thing to go into the the center
Yeah, I don't know
to
if
go
you'll
into it.
understand it, but yeah, it was a lot of work.
It was
but-
tricky. It was tricky, and we got enough stuff to
Well,
set up. So
we got a more advanced piece of equipment that you'll see in future videos. This was an older one. It was from November.
But it's
December,
this piece of
December.
evidence is what I said. All right, that's it. I'm gonna pony up and get the better one because it was out of control. Out of control. What a great piece of evidence. But great investigation. This is part one. We'll be doing another part on this location and then 1 or 2 episodes on the place across the street, which was a much darker haunting, and every piece of equipment we owned went bonkers.
Oh my god, the evidence is like
bonkers.
It's like 100 times crazier than.
No, when we go into the music room on the first floor here, there's evidence. We have we have figures on the SLS camera climbing around the ceilings. It only gets crazier.
Yeah,
it only gets
really
crazier.
Does. This is just like warm up. I feel.
It is, yeah. This is the appetizer. The main course is coming, and the dessert is gonna be like top shelf good stuff.
Seriously, yeah.
We're talking like Cheesecake Factory dessert, yeah. But anyway, we want to thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate everybody's support. Again, if you need help and you want us to come and do a paranormal investigation, we do not charge, we do not judge. We just come and help. We understand. We have empathy for your situation. We have been there. We are there. It's relativelyparanormal.com. Fill out the booking form, relativelyparanormal@gmail.com. And we are here to help. Do not be embarrassed. We don't I thought we would get far more calls. We do have a case this week coming up to help somebody. I thought every week there would be people asking for help. I think people are just embarrassed because I know for a fact every haunted Victorian that we drive past on County Street every day is haunted. Okay. People died at home. They lived at home. There was no hospitals. There was no doctors. They did your wake there, your funeral there. I know these places are haunted. We've been in a lot of them, helping people out, investigating, whatever. Do not be embarrassed. If you want to stay anonymous, you can. Okay. We will not plaster your address, your face, or anything else all over the show. Okay. We do this show to educate, to offer help, and to hopefully show this proof and remove the stigma of this phenomenon. It is real. And for years, we were embarrassed and got laughed at for telling people that we lived in a haunted home. And part of our mission is to remove that stigma. So thank you so much for everybody with the kind comments. And if you're not a true believer yet, I hope this is getting you there, because when we left that house in Fall River, we certainly were. So we will see everybody either next week or the week after, hopefully next week. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And, of course, as always, Marissa, from our family to theirs, everybody have a wonderful week. Bye. And we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Just click the there we go. Wait, you got to click it again, sweetheart. Nope. Click. Nope. No. You got to click that. Right there. Thank you for watching, everybody. We really appreciate it. We love you.